I still remember the sound of the cuffs more than anything else. Not the click you hear in movies, not dramatic, not loud, just a dull metal snap, like a door closing somewhere behind my ribs. And the worst part, the flight attendant smiled when it happened. Not a villain smile, not a cartoon grin, just that small, satisfied look people get when they think they've finally put someone in their place. Yeah, that happened. It all started because I wore a hoodie. I was flying out of Ravenport International early that morning, one of those gray, wet days where the rain feels like it's personally judging you. Atlas Crown Flight 714, nonstop to Zurich. Long haul. I was 21, exhausted, running on coffee and 2 hours of sleep, headphones on mind somewhere else. I was wearing an oversized charcoal hoodie, loose sweatpants, old sneakers, hair pulled back, canvas tote on my shoulder. Comfortable, invisible, or at least that's what I thought. The second I stepped onto the plane, I felt it. That pause, that shift, you know what I mean? Like the air tightens just a little, like someone has already decided who you are before you open your mouth. Her name badge said, Marissa Hale, lead purser. Crisp uniform, perfect posture, smile polished by years of authority. She stepped right into the aisle before I even finished crossing the threshold. Economy is to the right, she said, sweet as sugar, loud enough for the people behind me to hear. I slid my headphones down. I know, I said. I'm not sitting in economy. She laughed. Not friendly, more like amused disbelief. Crown class is $12,000, she replied. Let's not make this awkward. Please move. I could feel eyes on my back. Phones halfway up, people already leaning in for entertainment. I took a breath. Slow. Measured. The kind of breath you learn when you've spent your life being misunderstood. I'm in seat 1A, I said, and handed her my boarding pass. She stared at it like it was fake money, squinted, turned it over, looked at me, then back at the ticket. Her expression didn't soften. It hardened. This must be an error, she said. You don't match our Crown profile. There it was. Not loud racism, not slurs, just that sentence. Calm, clean, surgical. I paid for the seat, I said. I'd like to sit down. She stepped closer. Too close. Her smile vanished. You don't get to decide that, she said quietly. I do. That's when I realized she wasn't confused. She was offended. Offended that someone who looked like me had crossed an invisible line she believed she guarded. She offered me a compromise. Row 30, window seat, like she was being generous. I said no. Her tone changed instantly. She signaled a junior attendant, whispered something sharp, called me uncooperative, disruptive, potentially aggressive. All the words that sound reasonable until they're pointed at you. I walked past her and sat down anyway. Seat 1A, put my bag down, buckled in, headphones back on. I wasn't going to give her what she wanted. No raised voice, no scene. I thought that would be it. It wasn't. 10 minutes later, an older woman across the aisle suddenly gasped. Loud, dramatic. Her diamond bracelet was gone. $40,000, she said. Cartier. Irreplaceable. Marissa appeared instantly. Too instantly. Comforting her, nodding, scanning the cabin. And then her eyes landed on me. She was the only one near my seat, the woman said, pointing straight at me. My stomach dropped. I didn't touch anything I said. Marissa smiled again. That same tight smile. Then you won't mind if we check your bag, she said. Just to clear this up. I said no, calmly. You need a warrant. That's when she grabbed my tote, dumped it onto the seat beside me. Sketchbook, wallet, snacks, and then the bracelet. Perfect, glittering, like it had been waiting there all along. The cabin gasped. I didn't scream, I didn't cry, I just stared at it, my mind scrambling, trying to understand how something that had never touched my hands was suddenly my problem. She called airport police, said it was felony theft, said she felt unsafe, said protocol required action. When the officers arrived, they didn't look at me like a person. They looked at evidence, authority, witnesses, someone with a uniform telling a story that made sense to them. When they cuffed me, Marissa leaned in and whispered, "You should have stayed in the back." I sent one text before they took my phone, one line, to the only person who would understand exactly what that sound meant. "Dad, I need you." They started walking me off the plane. Cameras flashing, whispers trailing behind me like smoke. That familiar humiliation of being judged before you're heard. Then the door reopened. The rain outside had stopped, completely, like the world hit pause. A convoy rolled across the tarmac. Black vehicles, not police, not airport security, something heavier, purposeful. A man stepped out of the lead car. Tall, calm, gray hair, the kind of calm that doesn't rush because it doesn't have to. Marissa straightened instantly, smiled wide. I heard her whisper, "Perfect. He'll see how well I handled this." She had no idea. When he stepped onto the plane, he didn't look at her, didn't acknowledge her at all. His eyes locked on me, on the cuffs. "Take them off," he said, quietly. The officer hesitated, "Sir, this is an active investigation." My father finally looked at him. "I own this aircraft," he said, "and you're holding my daughter." Silence swallowed the cabin. You could feel it. He unlocked the cuffs himself, checked my wrists, took a breath that shook just a little. Then he turned, slowly, and looked straight at Marissa. She tried to explain, apologize, said I didn't look like I belonged, said she followed protocol, said she found the bracelet. My father smiled, cold. "This aircraft has internal service monitoring," he said, holding up a tablet. "Let's watch." The video played, clear as day, her stealing the bracelet, her planting it, her smile right before calling the police. Everything collapsed in real time. She was arrested on the spot, fired before the cuffs even closed around her wrists. The captain was suspended. Passengers were refunded. The video went viral before the plane even left the gate. Months later in court, people came forward. Patterns emerged, stories she thought no one remembered. Quiet abuses, small humiliations, until she picked the wrong person. She went to prison, lost everything. Years later, I saw her again, working a catering job at an art gala, older, smaller, avoiding eye contact. I didn't yell. I didn't humiliate her. I thanked her for the drink and tipped her $100. Not because she deserved it, but because I didn't want to become her. And that's where people argue. Some say justice was the arrest. Some say mercy was the real power. So let me ask you this. If you were in my place, what would you have done? Have you ever been judged because you didn't look like you belonged? Would you forgive? Or would you make them feel everything they made you feel? Tell me in the comments. I want to hear your story.